Good afternoon, students. My dear students, yesterday we have discussed about that some important salient features of our constitution. Okay, like that single citizenship, welfare state. In under welfare state, we have discussed about that social equality, how the government ensure the social equality, and social equality. After that, economic equality, how the government distributed the resources among the citizens of India, how the government measure the equal pay for equal work, and in case of unemployment, how the government give the employment and how the government protect the minorities through the economic equality. These all things are the under the welfare state, because our constitution provide the give the instruction to the government to always play the role as economic equality, social equality, and political equality. Under the political equality, today we have discussed about the each and every citizens have a political and civil right to enjoy in political equality, like that one person one vote through the universal adult franchise. Each and every citizens of India can use their voting power and choose their representative without the discrimination of caste, color, religions, or sex. Under the political equality, all political association and expressing political views, equality in terms of forming political association, expressing political views, equal right to get represented, equality in contesting elections and holding public officers, like that some seats are reserved for underprivileged like the women's, SC, ST, or provide them sufficient representation. The students, no special privilege to a few to rule like the democratic government. Okay, so these all are discussed yesterday. Today our topic is how the constitution provide the fundamental rights for all the citizens. Actually, just we have discussed in the third chapter what is fundamental right, very broad concept in detail form in the chapter number 3. But the fundamental rights also guaranteed by our constitution. 6 fundamental rights provided by the citizen for the citizen of India. Without rights and without fundamental right, the persons cannot lead the fulfill happy and purposeful life. Okay, so rights are those essential condition of life without which no one can lead a full happy and purposeful life. राइट्स आर नेसेसरी फॉर द वेरी सेंसेस ऑफ ए डेमोक्रेसी. एक डेमोक्रेसी के लिए राइट्स क्या है, बहुत ही नेसेसरी और ज़रूरत की चीज़ है. विदाउट राइट ए डेमोक्रेसी कैन नॉट बी रन. बिना किसी अधिकार के राइट पॉलिटिकल फंडामेंटल राइट्स के कोई भी डेमोक्रेसी नहीं मानी जा सकती है. इन अ डेमोक्रेसी एवरी सिटीजन हैज़ टू हैव द राइट टू वोट and the right to be elected to the government. In our constitution, through the fundamental rights, our constitution provides the fundamental right to the citizen of India, according to which each and every persons having the right to vote, and they use their right to vote to be elected the government for democratic elections. Okay, now see here in the paragraph number 2, right also perform a very special role in a democracy. Yes, this is very important. Right play very important and special role in a democracy. किसी भी प्रजातांत्रिक देश में अधिकार नागरिकों का बहुत ही important रोल प्ले करता है. Because rights protect minorities from the oppressions of majority. They ensure that the majority cannot do whatever it likes. Right or guarantees which can be used when things go wrong. Things may go wrong when some citizens may wish to take away the right of other. Means without right, each and every citizens may wish to take away the right of other. This usually happens when those in majority want to dominate those in a minority. बहुत बार देखा गया है कि जिनकी मेजॉरिटी रहती है वो माइनॉरिटी जिनकी संख्या कम रहती है उनको अपने अधिकार का यूज नहीं करने देते हैं. But our constitution protect each and every citizens of their fundamental rights. Right in such a situation, but sometimes elected government may not protect or may even attack the right of their own citizen. That is why some rights need to be placed higher than the government, so that the government cannot violate them. In most democracies, the basic rights of the citizens are written down in the constitution. my dear students, we discussed about the fundamental right in very details in chapter number 3rd, means after that chapter. Okay, but in this paragraph we are given that the minorities or any persons, each and everyone having the right to vote, through the right to vote the minorities to elect their representative, and in case of any situation, if any majority persons or majority group denied or dominate the minorities, that time our constitution take down the guarantees of all the citizens, the government cannot violate them. means हमारे गवर्नमेंट के पास कोई भी अधिकार नहीं है कि जो कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन ने 6 फंडामेंटल राइट किया दिया है उसे कभी भी वायलेट नहीं कर सकती है. इसकी गारंटी कौन लेता है? हमारा संविधान लेता है, आवर कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन. सो इट इज आल्सो अ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट salient feature of our constitution. Now, fundamental duties, my dear students, the fundamental duties is a no feature of the Indian constitution. Actually, the fundamental duties is also very important features of our constitution. Originally, the Constitution of India did not contain these duties. The 42nd Constitution Amendment Act in 1976 has incorporated the fundamental duties in Article 51A of the Constitution of India. The 86th Constitution Amendment Act 2002 has added one more fundamental duty in Article 51A of the Constitution of India. As a result, there are now 11 fundamental duties of the citizen of India. Means, according to Constitution Amendment Act of 1976, a fundamental duty is also included in the 86th Constitutional Amendment Act 2002 has added the more fundamental duty in Article 51A. Article 51 में एक और पार्ट जोड़ा गया जिसको कहते हैं Article 51, जिसमें क्या किया? कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन ने इंश्योर किया कि that each and every citizens follow the 11 fundamental duties of the citizen of India. According to this, all the fundamental duties like that to respect our national anthem, to respect our national emblem, to respect our environment, to protect our environment, to protect our national song. These all are the fundamental duties. Okay. It is expected a citizen of India while enjoying fundamental rights should also perform their duty. जिस तरह से अधिकार का यूज करके एक भारतीय नागरिक 6 फंडामेंटल राइट का यूज करता है, ठीक उसी तरह से उसे अपनी फंडामेंटल ड्यूटीज का भी निर्वहन करना चाहिए, जो कि हमारे कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन ने प्रोवाइड किया है. ऑल्दो देयर इज नो प्रोविजन इन द कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन फॉर डायरेक्ट इन्फोर्समेंट ऑफ एनी ऑफ दीज ड्यूटीज. ऐसा कहीं भी कोई प्रोविजन नहीं है हमारे संविधान में कि किसी को डायरेक्ट हम फोर्स करें कि इस फंडामेंटल ड्यूटीज को करना ही करना है. एट द कोर्ट्स आर गाइडेड बाय दीज ड्यूटीज while interpreting various laws. These duties have sensitivity as these are included in directive principle of state policy. We also discuss in detail of chapter number 3rd. And last part, directive principle of state policy. Means directive principle of our state policy is also a fundamental salient feature of our constitution. According to this principle, you can say that the directive principle of state policy are in the form of instruction or guideline to the union or state government. Means according to this instruction or according to this guideline, the government run. These principles are non-justicable. Means directive principle of state policy are non-justicable. A person cannot go to the court and force the government to follow the directive principle of state policy. But the fundamental rights in the governance of the country, it is enforceable by the court of law. It is justicable. Fundamental right is justicable because it is guaranteed by our constitution, and our Supreme Court and High Court also protect the fundamental right for all the citizens. But directive principle of state policy is a guideline or instruction to the government according to which the government has do their work. And the main aim of the directive principle of state policy, what is? To maintain the political equality, social equality and economical equality. So therefore no government can afford to ignore them. They are in fact the directives of the future government to incorporate them in the decision and policies to be formulated by them. Each and every time when the government make the policies, they always try to follow the directive principle of state policy, because the government, if the government is not follow the rules and regulation, not maintain the economic equality, social equality, so next and again when election is going on, that time the government remove by the common people from their post. So the government always try to do for the future governments directives for the future government to incorporate them in the decision and पॉलिसीज टू बी फॉर्मुलेटेड बाय देम। बहुत सिंपल तरीके से हम कह सकते हैं डायरेक्टिव प्रिंसिपल ऑफ स्टेट पॉलिसी क्या है, एक गाइडलाइन है जो स्टेट गवर्नमेंट और यूनियन गवर्नमेंट के हमारे कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन के द्वारा दिया गया है। इसी के अकॉर्डिंग डायरेक्टिव प्रिंसिपल के अकॉर्डिंग ही हमारी गवर्नमेंट रन करती है, उसी के अकॉर्डिंग वो अपनी पॉलिसीज़ को मेंटेन करती है या बनाती है। जब भी अपनी पॉलिसीज़ को बनाती है तो इस चीज़ का हमेशा ध्यान रखती है कि डायरेक्टिव प्रिंसिपल ऑफ स्टेट पॉलिसी में जो गाइडलाइन हमें दिया गया है उसके अकॉर्डिंग ही हम पॉलिसी बनाएं। चूँकि डायरेक्टिव प्रिंसिपल ऑफ स्टेट पॉलिसी को इन्फोर्सेबल नहीं करवाया जा सकता है कोर्ट ऑफ लॉ के द्वारा, कोर्ट इसे फोर्स नहीं कर सकती है, जैसा कि फंडामेंटल राइट जस्टिकेबल होता है और डायरेक्टिव प्रिंसिपल ऑफ स्टेट पॉलिसी नॉन जस्टिकेबल होता है। लेकिन गवर्नमेंट अगर ऐसा डायरेक्टिव प्रिंसिपल ऑफ स्टेट पॉलिसी के अकॉर्डिंग सोशल इक्वलिटी, इकोनॉमिकल इक्वलिटी और पॉलिटिकल इक्वलिटी को मेंटेन नहीं करती है तो मे बी गवर्नमेंट को कॉमन पीपल सिटीजन्स नेक्स्ट इलेक्शन में क्या करेंगे, अपने वोट का यूज किसी और के लिए कर देंगे। तो गवर्नमेंट हमेशा जब भी कोई काम करती है, कोई पॉलिसी बनाती है, चाहे वो सोशल हो, चाहे इकोनॉमिकल हो, चाहे पॉलिटिकल से रिलेटेड पॉलिसीज हो, ईच एंड एवरी टाइम cooperated and always when they make the policies or decision they always formulated by the guideline of the directive principle of state policy. Thank you dear students, this chapter is totally finished. Please all of you complete the exercise in civics copy exercise A from question 1 to 10. Thank you.